and welcome to Kelly's Wordy Reactions. Hello, hello. All right, so according to the title, I've just learned that a federal judge orders Trump administration to pay SNAP benefits out of contingency fund. So the ruling came one day before SNAP, more commonly known as food stamps, are set to lapse. So apparently, a judge, there were some lawsuits filed, and now a judge has ruled on the matter. There was a judge that ruled that that this was being done illegal before this ruling came out, but this ruling actually, the last ruling did not order him to pay. This ruling actually does order him to pay the benefits. So let's go ahead and get into what this says. So, a Rhode Island federal judge on Friday ordered the U.S. Department of Agriculture to distribute money owed to recipients of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also SNAP, as soon as possible. Just one day before funding, SNAP was set to lapse. As soon as possible, that kind of worries me because it reminds me of how the judge told them in the Abrego Garcia case to not send those people over to El Salvador and turn the plane around if they were on the way, and they didn't do it. So I don't really like as soon as possible, but that's what we got. All right, so U.S. District Judge John McConnell's ruling from the bench came shortly after another federal judge in a separate case said that the Trump administration's plan not to pay out SNAP benefits not to pay out SNAP benefits beginning on November 1st due to the ongoing shutdown was unlawful. So that's the other judge that said it was unlawful, but stopped short of ordering the Trump administration to actually disperse the funds. So ruling, let's see. Hi, Jose Gomez, and hello, is that Sai Nath? Hey y'all, hey, thanks for coming in. Okay, so ruling in favor of a group of cities and community organizations that sued over the cuts, McConnell said that the USDA must fund SNAP using money in a contingency fund. But he added that if the department finds that the money in the contingency fund is insufficient, the agency then must use other funding sources to make those payments. So the judge is like, yeah, find the money. Much probably like he found the other money that he's been doing all sorts of things with. I'm doing good. Thanks for stopping by, Biker Bros. I'm doing pretty good. Let's see. So there is no doubt, this is in quotes, there is no doubt that the $6 billion in contingency funds are appropriated funds that are without a doubt necessary to carry out the program's operation, McConnell said in his oral ruling. The shutdown of the government through funding doesn't do away with SNAP. It just does away with the funding of it. There could be no greater necessity than the prohibition across the board of funds for the program's operations. So all that's in quote from the judge. Judge says the government shutdown does not do away with the SNAP program. It does do away with the funding, but it is, there's no greater necessity than the prohibition across the board of funds for the program's operation. So that's what he said in quotes. All right, McConnell added, there is no doubt, and it is beyond argument, that irreparable harm will begin to occur if it hasn't already occurred in the terror it has caused some people about the availability of funding for food for their family. I'm not going to, but that part makes me want to cry. Because, when you traumatize people, you know, don't we know that traumatizing people is bad by now? Okay, so, and he goes on to say, McConnell addressed the Trump administration's argument that contingency funds might be needed for other areas in the near future, excuse me, like the aftermath of a hypothetical hurricane. Okay. And then he goes on to say, it's clear that when compared to the millions of people that will go without funds for food versus the agency's desire not to use contingency funds in case there's a hurricane need, the balance of those equities clearly goes on the side of ensuring that people are fed, the judge said. And then McConnell asked the administration for an update on the SNAP funding by Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. NBC News reached out to the White House, the U.S. Office of Management and Budget, and the USDA for comment. Democracy Forward, a progressive legal advocacy group that represented the plaintiffs, applauded the ruling. All right, and then they said, today's decision affirms that both the law and basic decency require the Trump-Vance administration must use their power to support the people in America, not to harm them. Democracy Forward President and CEO Sky Perryman said in a statement, the court's ruling protects millions of families, seniors, and veterans from being used as leverage in a political fight and upholds the principle that no one in America should go hungry. All right, so basically, this is interesting. Plaintiffs, let's see, who said this? In a separate ruling, a federal judge in Boston said Friday she wants further briefings before deciding if the Agriculture Department has to use emergency funds to continue SNAP benefits for millions of Americans after Democratic leaders sued the agency. And then in quotes, plaintiffs have standing to bring this action and are likely to succeed on their claim that defendants' suspension of SNAP benefits is unlawful, Judge Indira Talwani wrote in her finding. So that must be the judge that said it was unlawful, but didn't demand that the Trump administration actually pay the benefit out. So there it goes on some more, but that's the basic meat and bones of it. Let's see. So yeah, that's the basic of it. Going back up to the top, a Rhode Island federal judge on Friday ordered the U.S. Department of Agriculture to distribute money owed to recipients of the SNAP program as soon as possible. I don't really like as soon as possible, but okay. She also ruled that they have to get back with her on Monday for an update. And so yeah, that's that on that. What are y'all saying? Let's see, if you're just coming in, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you being here. I'm not sure what that means. Organic machine, Dean, that's funny. Well, I don't know. You tell me, where are the Epstein files are there. And they don't want to release them, open them, give them to whoever needs to be able to look at them, but they're there somewhere. I appreciate that. Hey girl dad, cooking up deliciousness. Um Thanks for stopping by. And yes, please do hit the like button if you're here. Um, is that Sunshine? Hey, Sunshine. I appreciate that. Yeah, just reporting on this SNAP situation. So looks like the people might get their SNAP benefits. And there's so many people on SNAP. Over 40 million people across the country are on SNAP. So most of them children, elderly, veterans. Um, so yeah, people, and especially in this economy, I don't know if that number is up from like previous economies, let's just say like pre-pandemic or something. I don't know if that number is up, but with the price of everything, I would imagine it would be. There's a lot of people that talk about, get a job, all you have to do is get a job. But, a lot of people are paying um, most of their money that they have from their job on rent and mortgage. Rent and mortgage are extremely high. So, you know, just depending upon what type of job you have, what type of income you have coming in, getting a job and even another job might not cut it. And that's what I've been seeing a lot of people say. A lot of people on TikTok and things like that. A lot of people just don't have um, still don't have the money that they need to feed themselves and feed their family, even with jobs, because of this economy. So let's see, why aren't they public? Yeah, well, if as far as the Epstein files go, if they can get this lady sworn in, I believe her last name is Grijalva. They can get her sworn in, then she can cast her vote. And if there's enough votes, which they believe it will be, if she can get sworn in, then potentially they can get those files released. So let's see. Yeah, he doesn't want them released, girl dad, which is part of the whole shutdown debacle, right? They don't want to open the government for a couple of reasons. But if they do, they'll have to swear this lady in. Mike Johnson won't swear the woman in, Grijalva, and therefore they can't do the vote on the Epstein files if she's not sworn in. So let's see. Don't walk by my, don't walk in my camera view. Okay.
Is Kennedy still here?
No, she went to work.
Okay.
Let's see if you're just coming in. Thanks for stopping in. The lawless one. Daniel, Isaiah, 2 Corinthians. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. So what's the solution to the mess? Good question. I don't have it. Yeah, back to the rent, how much you're paying for where you live. It's a lot, It's a lot of money. Oh, and then add to that all the layoffs, the federal firings and layoff situation, companies that are just laying off due to AI. I've been hearing a lot of company layoffs due to AI lately. Like, it's a lot going on. And then, out totally and completely out of people's control. Now, some things, of course, there's always going to be things that are in people's control that they're just not doing what they could do anything about. You're always going to have that, but you're always also going to have people that are doing what they can do. As a matter of fact, those programs are basically set up to have you moving. They're not really set up. I don't know about in the past, but presently they're not really set up to where people can just kind of do nothing. They do kind of move people along, and it's ignorant and arrogant and all kind of things for people to just think that everybody on them is just doing nothing. So that's just not true in most cases. Some people, you're probably just not going to be able to move them along, but in a lot of cases, people are doing everything that they can do. Let's see. Yeah, Sunshine, he is doing he is doing the most, right? It is crazy. Let's see, Organic Machine Dean. Let's see, we the people are the power, but we forget that and think the government is the power, and they're not. Well, I heard something yesterday, and somebody was talking about how many people there are in the U.S., and there's hundreds of millions of people in the U.S., right? So what it is just hard to get everybody on the same page. And not to mention, you do have so many people that this type of thing is what they actually support. So you got that, and then the sheer number of people and just getting everybody on the same page with what to do. That's a challenge. Hey, Nesto Shackles, happy Friday. Thanks for stopping in. So yeah, yesterday I put up a little quick video on what people can do to stretch a budget with the money that they do have if they didn't get their SNAP benefits. So hopefully people will get their SNAP benefits. Fun fact, everybody doesn't get their SNAP benefits on the 1st. So hopefully for most people, this will be a little seamless. Hopefully they will, whatever day they're supposed to get their benefit, hopefully that'll just come onto their card now that it's been federally ordered by a judge that he does have to use the contingency money to pay the benefits. So hopefully whatever day people are normally going to get their benefits, hopefully they will get it. And by some miracle and grace of God, the government shutdown can end by December, and people can roll on through Christmas and do whatever they're gonna do. Yeah, I personally don't think that we Americans should do what we normally do for Christmas. I think it's too much. We've been beaten up too much by this administration, and I just don't think that we need to be out here rewarding anybody the way that we have been traumatized out here. But certainly, people do need to eat and do whatever their celebrations are, but the way that we buy, I'm just not feeling it. I don't think that we need to reward these billionaire companies. I don't think they need to see us like that. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of y'all's way, but I thank y'all for stopping by. And when I get something else, I'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye-bye. Thanks, I am him. Appreciate you.